Hi guys, welcome back to Kuru Podcast. Today is a very special episode because for the first time there will be a very special guest who will join our podcast session. Okay, Stephanie, can you please introduce to us who our first guest will be?
Okay, so did you remember back then, Harry, that we talked about silent treatment?
Of course.
That we gain a little bit customers, more even new customers because, well, let's call them listeners. Because we talk about silent treatment and that is a very interesting topic, right?
Sure. Of
So
course.
I also uploaded on my Instagram. And in this day, we got the one who wrote the journal that we talk about.
Okay, please welcome Dr. Shilpi.
Hi, Dr. Shilpi. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited.
Hi, Dr.
Hi, thank you
Shilpi.
for having me here.
Thank you, Dr. Shilpi. So, guys, she is from India, and right now she is in India. So we have this podcast recorded from 3 different places, which is really exciting. So, Dr. Shilpi, do you want to introduce yourself to our listeners?
I am currently working as an assistant professor, and I'm currently also heading the Department of Psychology here at Agarwal University in Punjab, India. And previously, I have completed my PhD, and that was on the topic silent treatment. That was done from one of the most prestigious universities in India, Delhi University.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have been into the field of psychology from around 13 years.
Oh my God. Okay.
Also practice counseling. Yeah,
Oh, so you also actively practice counseling?
yeah, I do.
For how long as of now?
So I have been into the counseling practice for around about 4 years.
Oh my God. Okay. So 13 years into psychology and 4 years into counseling. Okay. So we got the best guest today, Harry.
Yeah, that's why today we will talk more about silent treatment. But first, Dr. Sylvie, I want to ask about what inspired you actually for your research about silent treatment.
All right, that is an interesting question to begin with. So silent treatment interested me because I think I had a very personal connection with it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I have been the user as well as the recipient of silent treatment since a
Uh-huh.
very long time. But then I noticed that it has been toxic
Yeah.
for some people,
Okay.
and that got me into the research process. Like, why do people do it, and what is the repercussion on the other side? And even the people who are doing it, if it is affecting them negatively, then what is the reason why they continue it? And I opted for this topic in my research.
Oh my God. So may I know, like, in your bachelor degree, did you also have been talking about this silent treatment thing?
No, it was only in my PhD. So in our bachelor's degree and in our postgraduate, we are introduced to different fields of psychology so that we are better informed in which field we want to continue our PhD.
Ah, okay. So you've been digging deeper for this silent treatment for your PhD program because you have
Yeah.
a personal reason for that? I
Yeah,
mean,
personal reason. I have been the observer also, and I think I have seen silent treatment ruining relationships.
okay.
Yeah.
Would you mind if we
Yeah, yeah. Would
talking
you mind
more about that?
that some personal things?
For some context for our listeners, actually, Dr. Shilpi here is the one who is writing this journal titled "When Silence Speaks," which is actually
Yeah.
a very beautiful title, and exploring reasons of silent treatment from perspective of sorts, which now that you're saying it sounds very personal. So, well, I do want to know, like, why are you so curious, like, why the source doing silent treatment? Yeah, may we know the context?
And Stephanie,
All right.
as
Oh yes,
context, when people read about Dr. Sylvie research about when silence speak, you can feel a personal touch inside.
correct.
So
Correct.
for people who want to read more about the research paper, I will submit the research paper in the description below, so you guys can read it
Can read more.
yourself. Yeah.
Thank you, Harry, for that. Okay, Dr.
Please, Dr.
Shilpi.
Sylvie.
So I am going to talk about the third context I told earlier that I have been an observer of silent treatment. So I had these two friends, and one of them was continuously using this technique with the other one for
Okay.
personal reasons. And now I know both the sides. This
Oh,
friend who is
okay.
Okay.
getting worried
Mm-hmm.
and this friend who is using it who is also getting worried. And
Ah.
I was in between. I was sometimes passing the information also, and I thought to myself, why are they not talking
Hmm.
directly, or
Hmm.
uh, why are they using this kind of thing
Hmm.
which is affecting both of them?
Mm, 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 mm.
So obviously that took some long time for them to realize,
Mhm.
and that got me into questioning myself and continue a full-fledged research on that. That was only one case.
Oh,
So I was thinking there may be many people who are getting affected by this. I wanted to know their stories.
definitely, definitely, you answered question from a lot of people. Well,
Yeah,
okay, so because you are caught in between, was that the
yeah.
very personal reasons? Okay, so that was a very interesting one. May we know, like, when you okay, do you want to give our listener a brief about what your research is about, so that our listeners have like what Dr. Shilpi is talking about in
Just
your
in
research.
general, in general.
Mm-mm.
If someone reads about this phenomena, and they would find ample of research done on the from the receiver's end, like
Mm.
how it affects them negatively, what kind of impact it has on them. But no one has yet talked about how is it affecting the users.
Mm.
So my research focused on the user's perspective,
Mm.
and it included the various motives and the
Mm.
reasons why they are.
Mhm.
Now the motives and the reasons they differ.
Mhm.
The motive is why they do want to use it,
Mm.
like their intentions, what is the purpose,
Mm.
and the reasons include the situational factor. That was
Correct.
one of the aspects.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
The
Mm.
second aspect was what is the personal dynamics they share that forces them to this kind of behavior.
Mm.
So, for example, there are power differences in any kind of relationship,
Mm.
be it friendship, be it your colleagues, be it
Mm.
your parents.
Mm. Mm.
So, how does silent treatment manifest in context of power distance? And
Correct.
finally, it was a huge work, but I could only stipulate one few points here. So
Yeah.
I'm sharing those.
Thank you, Dolce, for the explanation. Well, you mentioned about the reason and motive why someone is doing this silent treatment, right? And
Yeah.
that is where I actually was caught by your journals because you are talking about. Okay, let me read. Yeah. So we do silent treatment when we feel that our love and care was not adequately reciprocated. So it feels like we give more than we take. So, can you explain to us like how, like, why, why do we as humans? Because you're learning psychology for 13 years, so I want you to explain for us like why we humans want to be equal in love.
Another interesting point. So I think this feeling of fairness and justice is very inbuilt in us.
Mm,
And while we want to give, we also want to receive in equal terms.
mm,
And there have been researches that suggest that people who count on equality in terms of love and care, they
okay.
are they are more inclined to be sad,
Oh,
Okay, okay.
and
okay.
they'll never feel fair in their relationship.
Mm. So who is counting will be sadder. Oh,
Both of the individuals involved in a relationship, they count on these things, and the more you
mm,
count, the more sad you are. So it depends on how long this kind of behavior has been going on.
mm,
So in the birthday in the birthday example you are giving, is it just a one time that this feeling is not reciprocated? And
Oh
what
my God, so
deeper
on point.
issue is it?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hmm.
What deeper issue it is
Oh,
addressing. So if the person is feeling that by not
what's wrong?
receiving the present, they are not being
Hmm.
cared for, they are not being
Uh,
fully feeling accepted in the relationship, then it is
Hmm.
mm.
going to bother them.
Oh, it will be like a snowball effect getting bigger and bigger because of one thing,
Yeah,
one trigger, and then you will count
yeah,
everything down the road.
right,
Oh
right.
my God. Okay.
You may
Okay.
even feel not seen in the relationship.
Oh, you feel
Oh.
unseen. You feel
Yeah,
invisible in
yeah,
the
yeah,
relationship.
yeah.
Oh, and you will keep counting and you will keep being sad because of that.
This is a basic instinct to belong.
Sense of
So touching.
belonging.
Belonging,
Yeah,
Harry.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, so yeah, guys. So just accept the fact that you need love, no matter what. Okay. Okay. So the next thing that I think we all will feel related to this thing. We do silent treatment as a defensive motive when we feel that we are being threatened in the relationship or in a friendship or in something. So what I don't understand, Dr. Shilpi, um, well, we do silent treatment to the people we love the most. That's the most interesting part for me. Like, if we don't care
Right.
about that person, of course we
Hmm.
don't do silent treatment. But
Yeah.
we do silent treatment only when we care about that person.
Yeah.
The funny thing for me is like, why do we want to defend ourselves from the people that we love the most? Like in this defensive motive.
Okay, so there may be deeper issues again. There may be the issue of self-esteem. Again, the researchers have suggested people who are low in the self-esteem or self-worth, they may want more attention, and
Mm,
even some small actions from the other end, may be seen as attack, and they feel the need to protect themselves, and
oh
hence
my
the defensive
God.
silent treatment.
Okay. So it's back to self esteem?
Yeah, it's about the self-esteem.
Okay, that's something I need to work on. Okay. Oh, okay. So regardless or also the problem is in us when even if we love someone or we care about someone, but we feel that we have to defend ourselves from them, it so we'll need to question our self-esteem.
Right. And I think there is one more point to add.
Mhm.
It is about the attachment issues also, which we develop
Ah.
early in our life.
Okay,
Uh,
can you explain more about that? I think the listeners would
Yeah,
love it.
so I'll put it simply.
Mm-hmm.
There are two types of attachments. One is secure, where you can trust the other person, you can be in a codependent relationship with the other person. And
Mm.
there is another which is insecure. Now,
Mm.
insecure relationship attachment style,
Mm-hmm.
which is mostly experienced when the caregiver in your
Mm.
earlier life is not
Mm.
available emotionally to cater to your emotional needs. And
Emotionally
hence,
unavailable.
yeah, yeah. So the trust doesn't develop, and that
Mm-mm-mm.
carries forward in your future relationship.
So physical availability for from our caregiver is not enough. What we need is emotional availability.
Right? Very
Oh
much.
my,
Yeah.
okay, Asian parents problems. Okay. Oh, so that is why we feel insecure, even though that we live together with our parents, that even though we know that they love me literally, but there is no emotional connection, and that was why we feel insecure
Yeah.
as an adult. Oh my god. Okay. If you guys like have problem with your insecurity, then just try to remind what happens in your childhood memories.
Okay, Dr. Sylvie, I will ask about one thing. You mentioned about being insecure in relationship because of a low self-esteem and so
Mm-mm.
on. Can you give us an advice about how we can deal
Oh, yeah.
with our own self-esteem itself? How do we help ourselves and cure ourselves to be more confident in a relationship? In a
Mm, mm,
relationship.
mm.
Okay. I think then we'll be going into the direction of counseling and therapy now. If
Oh
you
my
do want to
god, yeah.
discuss that.
Thank you for having 4 years of
I'm
Okay.
seeing
experience.
Okay.
myself as
So
patients now.
there are various techniques that we follow for that. One is self acceptance, being able
Self-accept.
to feel fully accepted in your own skin, being
Mm,
comfortable in your own skin.
mm,
And there are various affirmative techniques for that.
mm.
And first of all, understanding that there is an issue that needs to be addressed.
Okay. Addressing there is an issue in ourselves first before we accept it.
Yeah, identifying that issue, then only it can be addressed.
Okay.
Okay, so we
Yeah,
need to be honest with ourselves. What is our issue? And then we need
Yeah.
to address that before we
yeah,
can then accept.
Mhm.
right. Even in
Makes sense.
case when we have low self-esteem or self-worth, we become more defensive and project our insecurities on other people.
Oh,
So
On point.
identifying the issue is the very first step that we need help.
okay.
Oh, okay. Dr. Shilpi, can we actually identify our own issue, or do we need someone to help us to get out that shadow? I mean, like to fish that shadow out.
So, with my personal experience, I think the role of family and friends is important in this,
Mhm.
identifying the issues with the self. And if you are so self-aware, then you can do that on your own as well. But
Mm.
then our
Oh,
interactions and identifying the self-esteem, these things do not occur in vacuum. We are social people, right? And
possible,
for
correct.
that, we need
Mm-mm.
feedback
It's a
about
mirror
self.
for us.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, makes sense, makes sense. So it's not that you can just meditate with yourself and then realize everything. You need to also see it in your relationship and interaction with others.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, okay. So you cannot live alone. Just accept the fact that you cannot live alone. Okay, those should be. Another question that I'm really curious about is, weirdly, for me, this is really weird in my mind. Like, we do silent treatment because we are scared of losing the person that we love the most. But for me, if I don't say anything to that person, then that only makes sense if I lost that person. So for me, doing silent treatment for the reason that I am scared losing them doesn't make sense for me. Because if I'm not saying anything, then I will definitely lose them. But I read in your research that one of the biggest motive that we don't want to say anything is because we are scared, because we are lacking of vocabularies of what to say to the partner so that we stay silent. For this one, can you help make me understand?
So this mostly occurs when we are not confident about our own verbal communication skills.
Oh,
You're
verbal
afraid
communication.
that you are going to say something or that is going to come out in a way that can be hurtful for the other person,
Mm.
right? And the other person could leave first. The other reason could be the issue itself, could be
Oh, okay.
such
Mm.
that the other person can take it personally, yeah,
Makes sense.
and they can leave. And we are not brave enough to face that consequence.
So that we stay
Yeah.
silent in
We
return.
stay silent, even if it is toxic for us, even if it is hurting us. We are not
Mm.
brave enough to be alone, and
Oh,
we take the blow.
makes sense. So the fear of being alone is more killing than the fear of
Yeah,
taking the pain. Is that
yeah.
okay? So my question is, because I'm learning communication for my master degree, the reason why is because I believe my communication skill was really bad. So that was why I was learning, and now I'm still not as good as I wanted. But what I was trying to ask you was like, if you know that you are lacking of vocabularies of how to pronounce your feelings, so that you taking the pain, like keep taking more pain, why don't you try to learn how to communicate better, so that there is no silent treatment. I mean, I really don't like silent treatment, and I don't like silence at all, actually, if can.
Hmm.
But why people just choose to stay silent instead of learning how to speak out? Like, why? I don't
So
understand.
again, yeah, that goes back again to their childhood. We are
Oh,
born with a certain temperament
uh-huh.
that designs us to communicate in a certain way,
Oh
and
my
then
God.
the environmental factors that I talked about, the attachment styles we have developed. So even though we are aware of our own patterns,
Mhm.
which are becoming cyclic for us, we are not able to take ourselves out, and there is a need for the counselor who helps you in identifying that there is a pattern ongoing with you and you need to
Oh,
break through that.
oh my God, this is really interesting. Like so many problems in our adult life happens because of what happened in the life that we couldn't even remember.
Right.
Oh my God. So now I'm really curious about what you were doing as a counselor. Like, how could you make someone remember something that I cannot even know it was there in the in my mind? Like, how did you help to dig it out?
So maybe you're not able to bring it in your conscious memory right now, but
Uh-huh.
you are aware of it. It is
Mhm.
there, and it has affected you. The patterns we develop, the way we process the information, the way we see
Mm.
our world,
Mhm,
and the
mhm.
behaviors we engage in. It has all been the result of our upbringing.
Okay, so you saw the patterns of what is
Yeah,
happening right now,
yeah.
and you see how, like,
We
what could
talk
probably
about the
happen.
present current
Uh-huh.
the current patterns, and
Mhm,
then we try to map that with other relationships from the earlier relationships,
mhm,
what kind of
mhm.
relationship the family other family members have. That speaks a lot.
Oh my God. Okay, so it's like our childhood memory is like building a maze inside our brain that we do not even recognize, and we live in
I
adulthood
won't
with that
say it
maze.
is the memory. It is
Mhm.
more of something the programming.
Oh my God, it's program. Okay, makes
Yeah,
sense.
it
Yeah.
is the way we become programmed.
Mhm, 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 mhm. Okay, and that program is really hard to crack.
Yeah, you may not yourself realize that this is what is going on with you.
Several episodes before this episode will be uploaded was like we are talking about how important it is for us to get help from the professional like you, from the
Yeah.
counselors, not because we want to say that you are sick and just get help. No, just it's because I believe that talking with someone is like trying to zoom out from our life and see what we don't see previously. Was that what happening in our counseling and in your counseling?
I think it is happening with every individual. That is not just in one country.
Mhm,
Uh,
mhm,
and yes, people, there is a lot of resistance even in going to a counselor because so much of information is available online, but we do not
mhm.
know how to contextualize that.
Oh
And
my God, thank you for
everything
saying that.
yeah, it is exaggerated out there. So it is
Mm.
better to talk to a person
Note
whom you
that
trust,
talk to person, not to machine. Yeah.
a trustworthy person.
Oh my God, thank you for saying that there is too much information out there. And well, Dr. CP, after 13 years of learning psychology, how much information you think is not supposed to be taken from the internet right now? Like, let's say in the percentage, like how many information that you saw online and you think that, oh my
Mhm.
God, just don't trust this, like 50% or maybe 70% or maybe 80?
I cannot say in terms of percentage
Mm-hmm.
because the information present there is factual. But what is relevant for us, it is not
Oh,
mentioned.
makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's not that information is wrong, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that it like how we interpret it will be very different from. Oh, okay. If we have a counselor for that. Oh my
Okay,
god.
Dr.
Okay.
Sylvie. Actually, I get a questions about silent treatment again. So you
Mhm.
did research about silent treatment to several participants. Do you personally think that silent treatment helps improve someone's relationship?
It depends on the reason why we are using it. So if you are using it
Mm,
as a timeout to just cool off and think more logically instead of
mm,
just emotionally,
mhm,
especially when there is a decision involved,
mm.
I think silent treatment is better. But then again, there is a condition that you need to explicitly state to your partner or whatever individual is present in front of you that you are going to take some time off so that they're not just hanging in there on a small
Yeah,
with
yeah,
a
yeah.
small thread. Yeah,
Mm,
they are aware that what is going on, and there is an
mm,
expectation that I'm going to
mm,
return back.
mm, 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 mm.
Yeah, the relationship is not just dissolved there, right?
Okay.
So then it can be constructive when we are taking it as a timeout.
Makes
And
sense.
it won't be necessarily silent treatment then because it has been shared. We are just seeking a
Mm.
space.
So one must be
Oh.
very clear to their partner why they are treating them silently, and they have to explain why. Is it?
Yeah, yeah. They have explained why that you need time and space for that, and you may not be aware of what kind of
Right. Mm.
issues are there, and you need time to think about that.
Mm.
So most likely, if you don't say what is your reason doing silent treatment, most likely silent treatment is always coupling together with passive aggressive. So Shilpi, like we are, yeah, like we are taking silent, but we want you to understand what I'm feeling. Is it common to coupling silent treatment and passive aggressive?
It is common to term silent treatment as passive aggressive, but it is not the only reason.
Mm.
You yourself told me that the person who's hurt themselves, that was one of the reasons mentioned in my research also. The person who thinks that they're not receiving much love and care, they are using silent treatment, maybe to seek attention. It is not aggression.
Oh, makes sense. Oh my
Yeah,
God, so complicated.
yeah, yeah. It is a complicated phenomena.
Okay, Dr. Sylvie, after you conducting your research to your several participants, how do they feel after they give a silent treatment to their partner? Do they think it is a helpful way, or do you think it's a harmful, or do you think some of them feeling regret?
So there were mixed responses. While they did the interviews, they told me
Mm.
that this is the first time someone is asking them such questions and they are becoming aware of their own patterns. And it was helpful. The interview itself was cathartic for them, and it was
Mm.
helpful to them in sense of
Okay.
becoming more conscious. And
Mm.
some were very adamant, saying that they'll continue this kind of behavior in their future
Mm.
because it helps them. How? Because every time they're taking that space, even when they are not telling their partner that they're
Mm.
doing this, allows their partner to see their own mistakes during that time, and
Okay.
it helps them
Mm.
because the partner sees the mistakes and then approaches them, and that also boosts their self worth in their
Mhm.
eyes at
Okay.
distance. But as an observer, as a researcher, I would say that pattern is not healthy for
Okay, makes
them.
sense.
It seems that way, but
Mm.
as a counselor, it is not a healthy pattern. And
Mm. Mm.
for
Mm.
most
Mm.
of the people, they felt like they do not want to continue, but they do not know the way out of it.
Okay, so depend on how you see it.
So how actually do couples actually reconcile or resolve themselves after giving a silent treatment?
So, understanding the partners, as I've been reiterating myself, uh, understanding that there is a pattern existing. One partner is
Ah, better.
doing something, the other partner is withdrawing. Identifying that. Then
Okay.
identifying that it is not helping them grow their relationship.
Okay,
And
know that it's
yeah,
not helping.
and finally seeking external help for that. How they can break it.
Mm, okay. Well, all in all, in your explanation that you mentioned previously about power, power gap in a relationship that we have in with someone, with our family. There is always a difference of power with us, whether it is like in related to material or age or context or things like that. So there is a power gap in our relationship with someone, and then
Right.
you also mentioned that um, most likely people who are doing silent treatment they believe in time will help them like somehow it will miraculously cure their problem without their doing much things like that so that's what I'm catching and then people will just there is this communication pattern that is problematic in the relationship that people don't really work on it and they choose to just stay silent because they don't want to be alone and all in all that factors we do silent treatment because we want the relationship to feel normal again like
Yeah.
because that we see like there is imbalance between us and I want that to feel normal what I don't
Right.
understand of Shilpi, and we are nearing like we are nearing the end of the podcast can you help us to understand what is normalcy in our relationship with someone. Like because everything that we do, all this silent treatment, all this bad communication, we just want to feel as if the relationship is like, yeah, equal, like because that is normal for me. So this normal thing becomes a problem for me because I don't know what is normal for you, what is normal for me. You never ask, so you never understand. So what is normal in relationship, Dr. Shilpi? That I don't understand.
I think that defining normalcy, defining what is normal, that's the job of the partner. Because again, as you said, it is going to be different for different people. And if you're going to
Mm,
compare yourself with other individuals out there, that is going to be a problem.
mm,
So there are films, there is literature that romanticizes relationships, and we try to reach that because we have set a bar, right? And that
mm,
creates problems. So defining the normal for your own relationship
mm.
should be the very first step.
And that needs communication, definitely. Okay. So there is nothing normal actually, like normal standard for everyone. There is only normal
No,
for you and me, and we need to discuss about that. And
exactly.
silent treatment is unhealthy. Just know that, yeah. Okay. Okay, Harry, back to you.
Okay, wow. Thank you, Dr. Sylvie, for a very comprehensive explanations about silent treatment. I think by today we can say we learned that actually
Mm,
silent
mm,
treatment can actually be a constructive way of building a good relationship. Depends on how we use it.
mm,
And the most important part is we need to be clear in our communications between
mm,
in a relationship to make everything clear, to explain ourselves better in a relationship. So we feel reciprocal things. And I think that's the end of the podcast for today. Thank you once again, Dr. Sylvie, and maybe we can see you again in our next session. And maybe that's all for today. And until next time, bye bye.